Chelsea this morning, they appointed Liam Rosenior, the coach from Strasbourg, on a contract through 2032. So he spoke to the media in Strasbourg, his now former club, this morning. So take a listen.
There are certain moments in your life that you have a decision to make that you cannot say no to. This, for me, is a club that I will love for the rest of my life, that I will want to do well for the rest of my life. But this opportunity for me is something that I cannot turn down at this moment in my life, for many reasons.
Geoff, why should Chelsea fans be happy with this appointment now?
I'm not sure all Chelsea fans will be happy with this appointment, to be honest with you, Hannah, but first thing I want to say is full marks to Liam Rosenior for fronting up, for going back to Strasbourg. It was his volition. He wanted to go back there, explain to the media there, explain to the fans there why he was leaving. He could quite easily have stayed in London where his family is. He signed a big contract. It would have been easy just to say, OK, that's gone, leave it and put out a statement. But he turned up and he fronted up, so top marks. The reasons for Chelsea fans to look forward, I think, is very much they're looking for some stability because, as we know, excuse me, Chelsea is a club, a bit of a revolving door for managers, and I think what will be interesting is what do we all think is in Chelsea's in tray for Liam? If he first day, what do you think is he on the list? This is what he's got to do.
I would think probably get used to your staff, integrate just in terms of the makeup of the club. Ownership is one thing in terms of just understanding in terms of how the club is structured, and I think it's very clear that Strasbourg and Chelsea are on two different stratospheres, and just in terms of who they are and the trajectory and the pressures that come with it. But I don't think Liam has to go in there and do anything apart from what he's done, because you know him, I know him. He's a very, very articulate, I want to call him a young man, but in terms of the managerial career, he is quite young, and his attention to detail is what's going to attract those players. And I think about the modern managers that have done really well as of late. Mikel Arteta, what do they say? The attention to detail, one of the best man managers. Enzo Maresca as well was another one that got applauded for his attention to detail. And a lot of these managers are following the architect in terms of that attention to detail and Pep Guardiola. So I think the philosophies that he's learned, the experiences that he's had at both in England and now, of course, abroad, I think has stemmed him to be an excellent manager. And I think he's going to go in there and I think he's going to impress a lot of people. Yeah. Yes, he might not be the sexy pick in terms of he hasn't got that high profile name.
He's a good-looking guy.
But in terms of his accolades and what he's going to do day to day and his training methods, and more importantly is his managerial skill set, he's going to be a very, very good manager in the Chelsea side.
I buy everything you're saying, and I hope he does really well. But looking at this from an outside perspective, the first thing in his in tray, it's a big paper that says win. A Chelsea team that needs to get on track, they're not that far off track. Listen, I think it's a weekend Premier League season where a lot of the teams are putting up mediocre displays, that a Manchester United that just sacked their manager is very close to a Champions League spot. A Chelsea that just sacked their manager is very close to the Champions League spot. I mean, you could even argue that if England gets that extra European berth,
the fifth spot,
Chelsea are in the Champions League already. So I wonder how you balance. And obviously he'll take it game by game, but I think it's a very tricky feat that he has to pull off with balancing the implementation of his style and not throwing too much at the players all at once with a new set of players, more experienced players, if you will, compared to what he had at Strasbourg, and get results. Because how many times have we seen it with these younger managers that want to play a more modern take, complex take on football? And Liam Rosenior did play a very modern, complex style of football in France, and there's a lot of signs that point to it working with that group.
Like any new coach coming in, he's going to want to improve the team. He's going to improve results. That's obvious. I think the things he's got to look at Chelsea is it's twofold. One, they do it in the big matches, but they often let slip against the smaller. Turn up for the big games, for games they're expected to win. So also as well, they've lost 15 points from winning positions in games. So there's a mentality in the team, although they hung on in there and got a great point against Man City at the weekend, that needs to be fixed. And the other thing is the discipline. They're the worst in the Premier League. 44 yellow cards, 4 red cards, the worst. And that loses you matches as well. So I think he'll want to attend to... But I agree with JD. I don't think he's going to go storming this and, right, you do this and you do that from now on, it's my way or the highway. That's not Liam's style. He's not like that as a person. He's not like that as a coach. And he's far too intelligent to know that. He needs to get the players on side, first of all. He'll make the training sessions fun. He'll make them enjoyable. He'll get the players buying into him. But bear in mind where they're sat in the table. And, you know, and his first game is the FA Cup. OK, Charlton is a team a division below, but it's a relatively comfortable game. So he hasn't got to, if you like, he hasn't got to reinvent the wheel in the first 7 days.
What type of football will Chelsea play under Rosenior, JD?
Oh, expansive. They'll be fluid. Don't be surprised if you see a couple of mistakes because he's quite brave in terms of wanting to play out from the back, and he demands from his players he wanted to play out from the back.
Yeah, but see, this is the whole conundrum, right?
Of course. And I understand that part because I know exactly what you're going to allude to. You have a lot of players there that are, I would say, not prone to errors, but have had errors within their system. Badia Shields been the question mark in terms of his consistency. I think Trevor Chalobah has maybe turned the corner in terms of most recently in terms of consistency. And for Fano, it was more consistency about whether or not he was available. But what you do have is some world-class players there in the middle of the park. I look at Reece James, I look at Caicedo, I look at Enzo Fernandez. Players that can really settle a system down almost instantly. And you're going to look for those players to want to get on the ball and really dictate, because he loves to try to dictate tempo. He wants to be quite expansive. He wants to be really fluid. I'm looking forward to seeing how Palmer, Estevao and João Pedro play together, because if you realise with his forwards as well, they're very fluid. They're very in terms of, there's not robust in terms of to one system where you have to stay into this particular zone, as you've seen with modern nines.
I mean, so I think that
looking
helps
at how fluid,
Pedro
massively,
a little bit more.
Massively.
I still feel like they can upgrade that position, though.
I don't doubt it at all. But then again, you're talking about Liam Rosenior and you look at his body of work. What's he sort of built his sort of reputation on, and that's developing young players. He now has João Pedro, who I think is a little bit more than a young player at this stage. I think he's probably in his peak. But Liam Delap is one that I think is going to be exciting to see what he does in terms of his career over the next couple of years.
If he gets the most out of Liam Delap, I will be impressed, because I don't think Liam Delap is a Chelsea-level striker.
You don't think so?
No.
He's got the potential to be, 100%.
Okay, right, but we've been saying that for the last 6 months, and he's not been good.
He's had injuries as well.
He has.
Okay, and he's also had red cards. Or a red card that kept him out. Listen, I don't... You honestly look at Liam Delap and you say, this guy's a Chelsea level 9.
I gave a comparison for what Liam Delap reminded me of, which was, he reminds me of James Beattie. That's a throwback in terms of the early 2000s. But that frame, that dynamic, that ability to also lead a line by yourself and be such a presence, but also have a very good clinical edge. I think Liam Delap could really turn into a good high-level Premier League striker. When you look at someone like Evan Ferguson...
But he has to, right?
Yeah, well, 100%, because the embodiment, the
I don't
work
see
that's been put into... Give him time, 100% give him time.
The one position I think is the most interesting on that graphic there is the goalkeeper. I can't remember the name of the goalkeeper at Strasbourg, but he has the highest starting position in Ligue 1. He is halfway up the pitch.
Yeah, Petrovic, yeah?
Yeah.
No, not Petrovic.
No, the Strasbourg keeper.
Penders, sorry.
Penders, Mike Penders. The goalkeepers at Chelsea, there's already question marks about them and their ability. If he's going to want to sweep a keeper at Chelsea, that could put them under massive pressure. But again, Liam's an intelligent guy. He'll assess that.
Well, you have to adapt, right? Like, that's the whole... I don't know why, like, in the last, year and a half, 2 years, we've seen a lot of these, obsessed managers about their philosophy.
Hey, come on, be fair, and us as well. I mean, straight away, the media will say, OK, what system does Liam Delap play? What system does Liam Rosenior play? What is his formation?
Right.
And if anything, it underlines how intelligent and how flexible Liam Rosenior is we cannot pin him down and say, yeah, he's not like Ruben Amorim plays, he's 3-4-3, or he's this, he's that. He's completely flexible, and he changes for the opposition. He changes for the players he has. That in itself is refreshing. So, fools like us can't just say he's right, he's going to die on that hill.
And he's got a great reputation as well. Internally within the club, I'm happy that he got the length of contract that he got, because finally you're seeing a head coach being given time to develop.
2047, right?
2032, that's a long way away.
He's been given 5 years, we're seeing reportedly, and an extension potentially to 6, which is what the club has officially put out. So you have to go by what the club statement is. 6 years, that sounds like a project to me. That sounds like you're buying into this head coach. That sounds like you're giving him time to develop his philosophy,
sounds
his
like
system,
a Chelsea contract,
and also his recruitment that you want to see coming through the door. But I just want to see young British black managers getting opportunities, and that's exactly what Liam Rosenior represents. He's done it the hard way. He's done coaching 10 years at both Derby and at Hull, and the development in terms of not only because he's coming from football royalty, but what he's going to produce in this Chelsea hot seat is going to inspire a lot of people.
The 6-year contract, you're not winning games, it's not worth a light, not worth a fig. They're not going to not sack him because he's got a 6-year deal.
Right.
If he bombs, he's sacked.
So why have they signed him on a 6-year deal? Just
I genuinely,
that's the Chelsea way?
well, it is the Chelsea way, but I genuinely don't know. What's the advantage?
The advantage is you already have someone within your system, so not to talk anybody.
No, just give him a 6-year deal.
Yeah, you have someone within your system, you have someone that you know already. He's got a great relationship in terms of with the global recruitment. He's got a great relationship with a number of people in terms of in the direction of that club. So you know who this person is as an individual. If it doesn't work out in this sort of landscape or this shape, don't be surprised if you see him still fitting into the embodiment of what this sort of structure and what they've done, Chelsea owning all these clubs around the world, because they rate him as an individual. That's why there was no other names really being touted. He was clearly a front runner from the beginning. They clearly saw that he had the ability to lead, and they saw him as the viable replacement to Enzo Maresca.
So if he's not getting results, just move him somewhere else within the company.
I'm not saying that, well, that's what happens within major corporations. If it doesn't work in one department, you try to put him into another. That's exactly what's happened in terms of this. They've seen him.
He's going to go back to Strasbourg?
I'm not saying that he's going to go back to Strasbourg, but what I'm saying is the embodiment, the framework. This is a manager that you're not questioning as to who he is. You know who he is because he's worked within your framework beforehand. It's different if you're hiring externally and hiring internally. Not to try to bring work politics, but you know it's very different. If you know someone within an organisation, you're more likely to give them a longer deal and more trust because you worked with that person before and you know what they can bring.
Thanks for watching this video from Morning Footy. For all news and insights regarding leagues around the world like EFL, Serie A, and all UEFA competitions, both men's and women's, don't forget to sign up for Paramount+.